guy that
Really gets one.
Yeah, we kind of neglected the folks towards the back.
well, this guy here has got his hand up more than any, and I think he deserves to ask the
It's
question.
your town hall, sir.
Two questions. One, I think you didn't answer. The poor gentleman there asked about who you initiate and introduce a bill about preserving life. You didn't answer his question. You sort of worked around it, so I wasn't clear on whether you would take the initiative to introduce a bill to protect life.
Yeah, well, I am 100% pro-life, and I will always do what's necessary to protect the life of the unborn. So the answer is,
Including introducing a bill.
if the time came to introduce a bill, absolutely.
Boccieri, all these safety nets are socialism. Socialism has destroyed every civilization that ever embraced
Well,
it.
one question at a
Go
time.
ahead, go ahead.
I just want to let you know that.
Do you support President Bush's free trade agreements with Canton and Korea and the one being challenged with Colombia? The free trade agreements, do you support President Bush?
Here's what I say about trade. When you talk about jobs and jobs going overseas, you got to start talking to this gentleman who passed healthcare and who passed cap and trade. Because when you talk about jobs, we just lost 400,000 in Ohio. Where are they going? They're going overseas. I will say this: 65% of the small business owners rely on the global economy. 65% of the small business owners. I talk to business owners all the time that rely on the global economy. So we have to have the ability for those small businesses to be able to use the global economy. But if you want to talk about, and would I be willing to look at those agreements? Absolutely. I would be willing to look at those agreements. But I also believe that what we need to do is we need to eliminate some of these bills like healthcare and the issues that are killing jobs in this country.
You do support or you don't support President Bush's free trade agreements with those countries?
I believe we need free trade throughout the country, throughout the world.
Do you support them or don't you? Those agreements, those foreign trade agreements with those countries that President Bush has?
I said that I believe that free trade today it drives 65% of our small businesses. I'd be willing to look at those agreements, and today I'm not looking to. I'm saying I would be willing to look at them.
One last thing then. Those very agreements have shipped American jobs, Ohio jobs, and most especially 16th district jobs overseas. Why those agreements have done that? Those have allowed maybe some folks in this room. I haven't lost my job, but I know folks who have.
I'll tell you what's shipped jobs overseas. We have from a corporate tax rate, we have the 48 to 49 highest corporate tax rate in this country. We need to become competitive. We have cap and trade that we're working on. We have a lot of things. We need to become competitive. I've talked to many people in this district that say, you know what? I'm not concerned about the free trade agreements. Give me an opportunity and get big government off my back, and we'll survive and we'll create jobs.
The jobs going overseas, they're not going to get opportunity.
I'd like to take a stab at this and answer this. I'd like to take a stab. There's a fundamental difference between Mr. Renacci's opinion and mine. I think free trade jobs or free trade agreements have not been fair to American businesses, have not been fair to American workers, and it's one of the biggest injustices that has been inflicted. When we have a free trade agreement with South Korea that my opponent would support, that ships 9,000 cars over to South Korea, and then they turn around and ship 300,000 back. That's not fair or free. And in fact, it's hurting Ohio's economy because 25% of our economy is based on how well or how poorly the automotive industry talks about or performs. So there's a fundamental difference. These free trade agreements and the corporate tax loopholes that allow corporations to be shipping these jobs over the seas needs to be ended. We ended it. We can't go backwards. I don't. Maybe Mr. Renacci would want to repeal that provision that was in the law. He wants to repeal a lot of things that we've enacted to move the country forward. But maybe he would want to repeal that provision and what type of devastation that's had. You look at Hoover. You look at Republic. You look at the Hercules plant down in Canton, and you see shutter factories, and you see what those trade agreements mean to places like Ohio. Now, while they may be good for the Port of Galveston, Chamber of Commerce, Ohio Chamber of Commerce may say that these have been really good for the Port of Galveston, they haven't been good for Ohio. They have not been good for Ohio.
These are all great talking points. We've lost 400,000. These are all great talking points Ms. Boccieri is bringing up. But we've lost 400,000 jobs in Ohio. over the failed policies of the last 2 years.
Hold on, I need to respond to that. Mr. Renacci made a claim. Let me just respond to that one and we'll get to your question. Since 2005, Ohio, since 2005, has lost 183,000 manufacturing jobs. We saw what happened in 2007 with the Hoover plant. We saw what our free trade agreements have done. Now, I like to use airplane analogies. Let me finish. I'm the C-130 pilot in the Air Force, and our glide path was headed towards the ground. Luckily, we've had folks who have understood this, and they pulled back on the yoke, and our glide path now is climbing away from this. We can't go backwards. We've got to keep climbing altitude and climbing out of this mess.
We got to let people ask questions.
This guy right here.
You keep saying that Clinton had a surplus. That was Case's surplus after 1994, when Newt Gingrich and John Case came in, and they took the House, and they had the Senate, and they balanced the budget, and they brought Clinton in this. Prior to 2006, we were at full employment. Then your party took over the House and Senate. Okay, and then.
Yeah, get out of here.
When George Bush and John McCain came to you and said we need to fix this housing crisis and we need to take care of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, your party said no. This is on the Democrats, Barney Frank, and the rest of you. There is nothing else. You tell half-truths. You go after Jim Renacci about his 23% tax increase. No, it's not that. You want to talk about half-truths, sir. And I'm getting tired of your lies. I'm getting tired of you telling half-truths. And I got nothing else to say to you.
I respect your opinion. We may not agree on this.
It's facts.
But
it's
we may not agree on
facts,
this.
sir. It's not an opinion. This is historic facts. We have a question.
By the way, one quick comment, when Mr. Boccieri talked about pulling the rubber on the going up. Look at your unemployment rate. You want to see something going up? It's almost doubled since he got a hold of that rubber. So keep that in mind over the last 18 months.